Hello everyone, welcome to the first day of our crash course, online crash course on whale shark. So name of our crash course is Know Your Whale Shark. It's a 2 days crash course. It's going to be conducted online with YouTube. And on this crash course, we'll learn about whale sharks. So whale all of us we know whale. Whale is a huge world's largest animal, but next to the whale we have another word, shark. Shark is a name of fish, while whale is a name of a marine mammal. So we are talking about a species which has both of this name, whale and shark. We'll know about this species. So today's crash course is by C-SCAPES and TCSRD. So the C-SCAPE is Center for Sustainable Conservation Action for protections of ecosystems of the seas. And TCSRD is Tata Chemical Society for Rural Development. So these are the initiatives of Tata Chemicals Limited based at Mithapur. And under TCSRD and Seascape, we have various conservation projects across the country. Starting from the Gujarat, we have whale shark conservation project in Gujarat. Along with whale shark, we also work for coral reefs. So we have coral reef recovery project in Mithapur. And not only that, we also have mangrove restoration project in Gulf of Kutch. And we also work for native flora conservation in Gujarat. Along with this conservation and action-based projects, we also have a network of eco clubs in Okamandar. So currently, we work with almost all the schools of Okamandar. Because of these COVID restrictions, we are working online. After Gujarat, our another conservation project is in Lakshadweep, where we work with the communities for coral reef restorations. Close to the Lakshadweep, we have Tamil Nadu, where we work with Bombay Natural History Society for restorations of salt pans for migratory water birds. In Tamil Nadu and in Andhra Pradesh, we are planning our restoration projects related to mangroves will also build the resilience of communities. Then we have our mangrove restoration projects in West Bengal as well. And our target of this year is to plant thousands and thousands of mangroves in Sundarbans. So, International Whale Shark Day is celebrated on 30th August every year. And in the run up to celebrate this, this day for a whale shark, we are doing a month long celebration. We have started our activities, awareness activities from the 9th August itself. On 9th August, we had a webinar in Gujarati for whale shark. Then on 16th August, on Monday, we had an online panel discussion with uh, officer in charge, sociologist of Wildlife Trust of India, and retired deputy manager of Tata Chemicals, where we discussed about whale sharks of Gujarat, various conservation efforts by Forest Department, Tata Chemicals, Wildlife Trust of India, and the role of communities in those conservation activities. We also announced a painting competition, online painting competition on 16th of August, and the entries were allowed till 26th. Now, our team and judges are scrutinizing and shortlisting various entries. Well, along with these activities, we also had a display of a life-size inflatable model of whale shark in various villages of Okhamanda. So here you can see our inflatable model at a nearby village of Paramda, and the community members, especially the kids, were like crazy for this model. They really loved. You see, we all of us we cannot go to the ocean and we cannot see a live whale shark. We cannot touch the whale shark, the real one. But this inflatable model will surely give you the feel that this animal, this species, looks like this and it's so huge. Our partner, Wildlife Trust of India, is also doing remarkable activities on another coast of Gujarat around Gir Somnath, Tamrej, and Vedavar. And here you can see uh, our partner with Forest Department and local communities doing a group photograph, a sand art program, and they also did a beach cleanup before this. So that's been widely appreciated. And here we are today conducting an online crash course on Know Your Whale Shark. So we planned this a national event, but now fortunately this is an international event as we also have a participant from Malaysia. So we welcome Irsad from Malaysia along with one international participant. We received entries from Jammu Kashmir, Chhattisgarh, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Dadra Nagar Haveli, Maharashtra, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Goa, and Kerala. So, on behalf of TCSRD and C-SCAPE, I, Dhawal Waragia, Program Officer, I welcome all of you on this crash course. Okay, so a whale shark is, as we all know, or as most of us know, is world's largest living fish. It's a fish, but world's largest. We know that the blue whale is the largest animal of the world. But if you compare the world's largest fish, it is a whale shark. So a whale shark looks like this, but it is the largest fish. Now, if you want to compare yourself with a whale shark, just imagine where do you stand on a just huge body of a whale shark. So you will look something like this close to a whale shark. Imagine yourself swimming with a whale shark. So this will be the proportion. Now all of us are familiar with the size of a truck or a bus. So let's put our whale shark close to a bus and this is what you get. It is as big as a big bus or you can say a truck. It's so huge, so one must think that this fish must be eating huge fishes or huge mammals like dolphins or something else. But in fact, the whale shark is a filter feeder. The whale shark eats mostly whale shark eats the planktons, zooplanktons. Now there are ample of zooplanktons in the ocean and it is one of the favorite food of the whale shark. It's a filter feeder and in fact there are three filter feeding sharks known to exist. One of them is a whale shark and then second is basking shark and third is megamouth shark. Now, the filter feeder, you must be familiar with a flamingo. So, greater flamingo and lesser flamingos are also filter feeder. What they actually do is they consume the food along with the water, and after that they keep the prey, they keep the food inside and then filter out the water. So that's the mechanism of filter feeding. It feeds on planktons like krills, fish eggs, small squids, or other small fish. But as the body is so huge, this species required so much of it. A juvenile whale shark is estimated to eat almost 20 kilogram of planktons or any food preferred per day. So this is the diet of a juvenile, immature, or you can say a baby. Now imagine the diet of an adult. As the body is so huge, they need too much of this planktons or too much of this fish to eat. Now the identification part, it is one of the easiest species to identify. First thing, the size is so huge that it becomes unmistakable. Then comes a beautiful pattern of white dots on the body. So this is unmistakable. And each and every whale shark has a unique design, has a unique pattern of these dots. And this uniqueness of design helps this whale shark to differentiate. Now, scientists also use this technique to differentiate different individuals of whale shark. We'll learn more about that. So here is a screenshot of a website, whaleshark.org. Here you can go through with some figure that thousands and thousands of people have actually reported various whale sharks. They have taken the photograph and with the help of artificial intelligence, with the help of various softwares, the scientists have identified hundreds and hundreds of different whale sharks. Now here you can compare yourself how a whale shark looks close to a blue whale or a whale. So here you can see there are plenty of white dots or gray dots on the body of a whale shark. While a whale does not have such kind of a pattern, whale shark is actually a fish. So you can see fish like fins on the body of a whale shark. If you look at the tail of both of these species, you will recognize one has a horizontal and another one has a vertical tail. Now, if you look at the head of the species, it is a flattened head with a very wide mouth. And inside the mouth, there are up to 300 small teeth. Now, whale shark is a filter feeder. Still, it has 300 teeth inside the mouth. So, actual function of this teeth is unknown. Unlike other sharks, it is believed to be a docile filter feeder. Now, the word docile means it is very calm. It is not harmful. Now, imagine how this whale shark was discovered as a species. Now, let's go back in 18th century. In April 1828, one specimen of a fish was harpooned was killed at the Table Bay of South Africa. It was 4.6-meter long, almost 15 feet long, and there was a person known as Andrew Smith. He was a military doctor associated with the British troops at Cape Town, and he saw this specimen and then he described this specimen next year in 1829. Now, this name whale shark directly refers to the fish size. Now, this word whale in a common name is only given because of the large and huge size of this fish. But in fact, actually, this is a species of a shark, right? And because this shark is so huge, a descriptive word, whale, is added to the common name. That's why it is known as whale shark. Now, some literatures say that it reaches a maximum size of 20 meter. But if you compare the average size, most of the research work on whale shark has been conducted in Western Australia. So, from Western Australia, we have some data that average male size there ranges from 4 meter to 13 meter, while females are 4 to 8 meter. The weight is up to 34 tons. So when I say up to 34 tons, it does not mean that all the individuals which are cited are of this weight or this length only. Most of the animal or most of the individuals which are cited in India or Australia or any other part of the world are almost half of this size and half of this weight. They grow very slowly and they also attain the maturity very slowly. Now, we have a range for the maturity period of the whale shark, and generally it starts maturing itself at the age of 9 to 20 or 30. And the lifespan of a whale shark could range from 60 to over 100 years. Now, if you compare the liter, means how many babies a whale shark give. So we have a big mama in our presentation at a later part. We'll see more detail of it that it has given birth to 300, more than 300 pups, which were from 48 to 58 centimeter in length. So At, at this point of time, scientists knew that the whale shark is a species which gives birth to live young. And how many? Up to 300. It has two ovaries, and both of these ovaries together can produce up to 300 babies. Now, here you can see a whale shark with a baby. Now, this is one of the least studied species. One reason is it lives in the ocean and it's so huge. Our oceans are so large and so big that studying multiple individuals sometimes become difficult. It requires a lot of funding, requires a lot of traveling as well. So the gestation duration and interval between the birth are also unknown. So when I say the interval between the birth means how many years a species or a female can take to give to deliver a baby, right? To another, to deliver a baby in a next gestation period. So even this interval is unknown. But scientists believe that the pregnancy may take less than a year, but birth is likely followed by a long resting period, with litters born only every 2 years, at least every 2 years. Similar to nurse shark, the only other ornitholobid shark for whom the detailed reproductive data is available. So scientists, what they did is at the initial period they could not find the actual data for the whale shark. So what they did is from the same order of the whale shark, they studied another species, nurse shark, and they derived some scientific data regarding gestation period and interval between the birth. And from there, they hypothesized that this could be also possible for whale shark. Now, this strategy can explain the small number of pregnant females observed. The initial rapid growth of pups would explain less records of very small whale sharks. Now, this last point is also very important. In India, Wildlife Trust of India and other organizations are conducting research on whale shark since many years. But till now, Wildlife Trust of India could have seen the pups in the waters of Gujarat or waters of India only 9 times. So very less records of small whale sharks are there in country. Now these dots are very specific in each and every whale shark. If you look to these dots, it looks like a checkered board pattern of light spots and towards the tail, towards the head, in a midway, there are also stripes of white or gray on a dark blue background. Now, the functions of this pattern on the body is unknown because other shark species, if you might have seen, like black tip shark and other, they do not have such kind of a distinctive pattern on their body. They have a kind of a plain or a uniform wash over their body. But the whale shark has a very distinct, very unique pattern of these dots. Now, scientists imagine why there are or why there is such kind of a unique pattern over the body of a whale shark. And one of the hypothesis, one of the result is it could be a result of its relationship with a bottom dwelling carpet sharks. So scientists believe that whale shark is closely associated with another bottom dwelling shark, carpet shark. So when I say bottom dwelling, so this carpet shark used to stay close to the bottom of the ocean, which are known as benthic species. And it stays there and keeps feeding on whatever prey is available. Another explanation is it could be linked to social activities such as postural displays and recognition processes. Now, as we can recognize our friends, our family members, some some species like this whale shark, all of us know about penguins. That penguin, when they go out fishing, when they come back to the heron race, they recognize their own babies, right? They will only walk towards the spot where the baby is. So the animals, they also have such kind of capabilities. And it could, some scientists also believe that these dots are an adaptation for radiation shielding because this whale shark is surface feeder. Sometimes you see the whale shark on the surface of the water. But imagine midday when it is very cold, this pattern may help whale shark to shield from the radiation. So, because the species may spend a significant proportion of time in surface water, possibly exposed to higher level of ultraviolet radiation. So, this could be an adaptation to protect the skin from the radiation. Now, where can you see a whale shark? So, this is a map, and mostly the whale shark is seen in the tropical water, where the water and surrounding is very warm. They have been found in both deep and shallow coastal areas. So, when I say whale shark is a surface feeder, it does not mean that whale shark is not seen in deep areas. In fact, whale shark is also seen in deep areas. Not only the water, the whale shark is also seen on the coast. Whale shark is also seen in around the coral reefs. So it is very important. It depends on diverse of habitat. So it is one of the very nice and adaptable behavior of the whale shark. Here you can see where you can find a whale shark on a global map. And along with the distribution, movement pattern is also given. So our Indian whale sharks are known to move and migrate towards uh, Maldives, towards the Middle East countries, towards Africa. And Wildlife Trust of India has recently analyzed that the movement and migratory pattern with the help of satellite tagging. So in near future, we may host another webinar on the movement pattern and movement ecology on the whale shark. One of our reviewer, Aryan, says that whale sharks are pretty frequent in Hawaii, which is true. Now, where can you find a whale shark and on what factors, on what parameters the movement of whale shark from one area to another area depend? So, it depends on surface water temperature. But not only the surface water temperature, there are other factors as well. For example, whale sharks are usually seen alone, but the loose congregations, or we can say congregations up to 100 animals, is also seen mostly in Australias and other areas. Now, the group of fish is known as school. So, this behavior is known as schooling activity, and it says that the schooling activity also occurs in whale shark. Now, the whale sharks have been observed congregating off the coast of Australia to take advantage of high zooplankton congregations. Now, this is also a very important factor with respect to the movement ecology of a whale shark. That the movement or the migration of a whale shark in the ocean not only depends on the surface water temperature, but it also depends on the zooplankton congregations. Now, zooplanktons, they have their specific breeding activities. For example, some crabs, they breed in a particular season. The eggs of fish are also known as zooplankton. So some fishes like tunas, they have a specific breeding period. Mackerels, they have a different breeding period. Now, this is the main prey base of whale shark. After years and years of adaptation and survival in the ocean, now they know at what particular time they can consume the red crab's eggs, or when at a what particular time they can consume the fish egg, and they will migrate to that particular country or that particular spot to take advantage of this zooplankton congregation. Now, humans are very smart. They recognize these congregations and they started a tourism. So, whale shark tourism follows the congregations. Now, this whale shark is protected in our country from 2001. Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change provided complete legal protection to the whale shark. Whale sharks are protected in Indian territorial waters. and the species is included in Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act. It was added on 28th of May 2001. So 2001 onward, the species or this fish is equally protected as a lion or a tiger or corals. Hunting whale shark after 2008 is not allowed in our country. Not only in India, whale shark is protected in many other countries as well. So we'll see it here. Now, IUCN has recognized the whale shark, and in 1944 it added the whale shark to lower risk conservation dependent species. Then in year 2000 the whale shark was added in the category of vulnerable. On the basis of what? When does a species is declared vulnerable? So there are certain criteria. For example, for the criteria of vulnerable category, it says that because the estimated and projected scale of this population reduction is between 50 and 20% over a period of 10 years or 3 generations, whichever is longer. So what it means that if a population decline is within the range of 20 to 50 within 10 years or 3 generation period, whatever species it is eligible to be listed as vulnerable. Imagine the population decline or a projected population decline is more than 50% up to 80% in 10 years or 3 generation period, it becomes endangered. And in fact, this is what actually happened. Whale shark was globally listed as endangered in the year of 2016. So, despite so many efforts of whale shark protection, still we lack something or we miss something at the global scale, and that's why in the year of 2016 the species was listed as endangered. We know that there are so many conservation efforts for awareness, for action-based rescue work in India, but actually it needs to be done in other countries as well, right? Then only is global assessment criteria will be relaxed to a certain level from endangered. Who knows after 10 year or after 20 year, again, the species may be listed as vulnerable because imagine a global conservation effort for a whale shark protection. But if we still do not conserve the species and estimated population decline or the projected population decline is more than 80%, then we may have to enlist the species as critically endangered as well, just like great Indian bustard or just like most of our vultures. Now, there is a specific term, 3 generation period. Now, 1 generation period for a whale shark is 24 to 25 years. So, when we say 3 generation period, it's a total of these three. Now, the generation period is different for different species. In Australia, there are multiple protective acts, and the whale shark is protected under most of them. There is one of the act which is known as Commonwealth Waters under the Environmental Protection Biodiversity Conservation Act of Australia. and the whale shark is protected under this act and it is listed as migratory species. Under the Great Barrier Reef Marine Park Act in the Queensland water, it's also protected. In the state of Western Australia, by an indefinite closed season under the Fish Resources Management Act, the whale shark is protected. And it is also protected under Wildlife Conservation Act 1950. There is another part of the world which is known as Tasmania. There is no whale shark there, but still the species is protected there. In Belize, the whale shark tour regulation have been drafted and tour guides are trained in these regulations. If you have a look at other parts of the world, in Honduras, it has full protection from 28th of October 1999. Maldives, the whale sharks have been fully protected since 95. In Philippines, it is fully protected since 98. In South Africa, it has full legal protection and there are permits which are required for tourism or even scientific research. Thailand also, the species is protected with a fisheries ban from the year 2000 onwards. And in USA also, it is protected. It is fully protected in Florida state waters, in Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico federal waters. Now, let's have a look at biology and the ecology part. In contrast to the majority of ornitholobiform sharks, which are benthic species, whale shark has a pelagic habitat. Now, this is an order. Now, in a scientific classification of any species, there are orders, there are families, there are genus, and then comes the species. Now, the several species under the ornitholobiform sharks, the sharks prefer the benthic environment, means they stay at the bottom of the floor, oceanic floor. But despite the whale shark being one of the ornitholobiform species, it prefers or it also roams around the pelagic habitat. It also roams around the surface. So this is a marvelous adaptation of a whale shark that it does not stay at the bottom of the ocean, but it loves to roam around the ocean and it loves to migrate. Generally, the benthic organisms they do not migrate to different countries or different parts of the ocean. They stay in a particular areas and move nearby. But our whale shark is a migratory species. As discussed earlier, the whale shark is a filter feeder and it feeds on a wide varieties of diet. Now, the first and the preferred diet could be the planktonic and nectonic prey, including small crustaceans like krills and crab larvae, other zooplanktons like fish eggs and all. But along with this planktonic diet, whale sharks also feed on small schooling fishes like sardines or mackerels. So this is the preferred diet. Then comes sometimes on an occasional basis, larger prey like tuna fish or squids are also eaten. Scientists also found phytoplanktons and macroalgae in the form of the diet. But the thing is, our zooplanktons, our small fishes like sardines and mackerels and others, they might be consuming these algae and phytoplanktons. And when the scientists analyze the gut content, they might have found some portions of these phytoplanktons. So this could be the reasons behind the presence of phytoplanktons or microalgae in the stomach of a whale shark. But whales are actually consuming the algae and phytoplanktons is little bit difficult to actually believe. Now, in 1961, analysis of the stomach content of a specimen which was caught in India was done, and scientists found large quantities of zooplanktons. They found partially digested remains of the fish, crustaceans, mollusks, small quantity of seaweed also. So now I think it is clear that whale sharks actually depend on a wide variety of a prey. That's why it is an omnivorous species. Now, as a filter feeder, it relies on a versatile suction feeding technique which enables it to draw water into the mouth at higher velocities. It enables to capture larger and more active prey like zooplankton aggregations. Now, these zooplanktons are very mobile. They keep moving at a you know they keep moving at the surface of the water. Now, because of this versatile suction feeding, it allows whale shark to consume a larger chunk or a larger aggregation of these zooplanktons altogether. Now, certain individuals have been also observed feeding passively and also sometimes hanging vertically in the oceans. Now, most of the time we see or we imagine a whale shark or a whale in a horizontal position, but these whale sharks have been also seen hanging vertically in the water and feeding actively by opening their mouth and sucking in prey rich water. They consume the prey rich water, and what they do after that is they extract out or they omit out the water with the help of the gills or the filter feeding mechanisms mouth. Now this is also very interesting that the whale sharks are also observed coughing like us, which is thought to be a mechanism employed to clear although or to flush the gills records to clean the gills, because after feeding there might be accumulation of some food particles, so they cough, and by coughing they remove such kind of debris. And at the dusk or at the after dark, after evening, the whale sharks are observed, or you can say the groups of individuals have been observed feeding very actively. So, why this happens? It's because after evening, the temperature becomes cool, and in this cool temperature, the movements of zooplanktons is also active. And to take advantage of this, the whale shark they feed actively at this particular time. We have very limited or very less information available for reproduction and the development part. But whatever data which is available to us, we will study that. And scientists have done a much debate actually on this particular part. There has been much debate on the part like what actually the whale shark gives? It gives eggs or it gives birth to live youngs. So initially, people found or scientists assumed that the whale shark gives eggs, means it is oviparous. And then there were some instances when the scientists realized that not the eggs but whale shark give birth to live youngs. So in 18th century and in early 19th century, this such kind of a debate was going on among the scientists. But after that, there were there was a female whale shark which was which measured almost 11 meter in length. It was found on the coast of Taiwan. It was harpooned, and after that, when they analyze or when they open up the body, they found 300 embryos from 42 to 63 centimeter in length. Out of these 300, 15 of embryos were still alive. Now, this is also very unique thing about most of the sharks, that when the mother shark is killed or eaten by any predator, inside the stomach of mother shark, the babies or the embryos still remain alive. So that's what happened in Taiwan in the year of 1995, that they found 15 alive babies of whale shark, and they were of on an average 50 centimeter of length. And the scientists reared these individuals in captivity for almost 4 to 5 months in an aquarium in Japan. And what they found is, after an initial period, those baby they develop the weight so fast, they gain lot of weight, and the size becomes so huge in few months. And after this discovery, finally it was confirmed that the species is a live bearer, means it gives birth to babies, not eggs. Most of the fishes that we know are actually oviparous, means they lay eggs. Female's body, they expel the eggs and hatching happens on the sea floor. But there is also another category which is known as ovoviviparous. So what does it mean? That eggs cases hatching in the uterus itself inside the female body, and female, after the proper hatching, give birth to live youngs. So this is also very interesting. You might have seen videos of on a Discovery Channel, that sometimes what actually happen is, not in whale shark but in other species of shark like white tip or black tip shark or other, the immature or the pups actually consume one another when there are actually inside the womb. So this is also one of the very interesting phenomena for the adaptation in sharks. So it's like survival for the fittest. Whoever or whichever pup is fit, it will survive. and the one which is not fit or one which is not capable to protect itself, it won't survive. Okay, so there is some issue with the presentation. I need to change that. So I'll I'll take 1 minute for that. Meanwhile, you guys can discuss in the comment section. Okay, I hope now the screen is visible to you. Okay, so this was what I was talking about of a Taiwan case study. Now, in the year of 1996, Fukuyev recorded one juvenile that was found in the stomach of another shark, blue shark, and they found this in tropical Atlantic water. So now it's also confirmed that another species like blue shark, they actually feed on the juveniles of whale shark. There are no confirmed records of whale shark between 93 centimeter and 3 meter. The animals over 3 meter in length are encountered worldwide. So this is also one of the very interesting phenomena that the individuals or the babies which are less than 90 centimeter in length are seen, are recorded. But from 90 centimeter to 3 meter, this particular age gap or this particular period of the life in a whale shark is unknown. So you may guess what might be happening here. My assumption is that it's just an assumption that as it has a phylogenetic relationship with other sharks which are actually benthic habitat preference. The whale shark juveniles might be, staying close to the benthic environment in this particular period of their growth. And once they achieve the 3 meter length, they may come up to the surface for filter feeding or for the feeding. So you may also comment your assumptions in our comment section, or actually you can do some literature review on this. If you find some suitable or some logical answer to this, please come back and comment here. Okay, now the length. Most specimens recorded in the literature are between 4 meter to 100 meter, but the maximum total length is uncertain. One of the another literature says that the maximum length of a whale shark was around 50 meter. Sorry, 20 meter. The largest accurately measured specimen was around 12 meter in length. In Seychelles, there is one report that largest measured species or measured individual in Seychelles is around 14 meter. And in India, in 1975, an individual's just over 14 meter was landed. Now, the whale sharks may reach possibly as much as 18 meter in length, although the very large specimen reported from Gulf of Siam was not measured accurately. But that's one thing is clear that the whale shark is our largest living fish of the world. When I say living fish means it is still surviving. The extinct fishes might be perhaps larger than our whale shark, but if we discuss about the living species, of course, the whale shark is the largest living fish of the world. Now, whale shark is also a long living animal. It lives for more than 100 years, who knows. Information about the size at sexual maturity and longevity is very less. Whale sharks do not reach sexual maturity until they are over 30 years of age. This is also one of the interesting phenomena. And that they may have a lifespan of over 100 years. Two large female sharks captured off the Indian coastline, which were measured 8 to 9 meter in length. Both of these females had immature ovaries. Now, the scientists they can perform or they can test the maturity of ovaries with the help of some biological test, and they found that even those females were 8 to 9 meter in length, their ovaries were immature, means they were not able to breed. They were still immature, they were still too young for breeding. Now, the evidence suggests that sexual maturity in both sexes, means both males and females, may not occur until the sharks are over 9 meter in length. So, this is also a very interesting phenomena that only when the shark reaches the total length of 9 meter, they attain the sexual maturity, and only after that they are able to breed. Now, the migration is also one of the very interesting phenomena in whale sharks. They appear to be sporadic and unpredictable. You may not predict when where a whale shark might be migrating. Usually, they are observed on or near the surface, and at times they have been seen apparently basking also. Now, the basking is generally seen on the land species or land animals, but the whales are imagine in kind of a winter or any cold season, the whale shark might be seen basking close to the surface as well. Now, the movements are related to some interesting phenomena like increase in local productivities such as plankton blooms like invertebrate spawning events or also association with zooplanktons association with bait fish shoals are also possible. There are other environment or climatic factors responsible for the migration of whale sharks as well, like water temperature, water current and wind. So depending on the food or depending on the climatic factors, whale sharks migrate within the tropical waters. Now, this animal could move offshore to the deeper water as well. Whale sharks are also noted at the depth of 2000 meter up to 3000 meter as well, and they may be seen only when they come to inshore or into surface water to exploit periodic increase in plankton productivity. So if whale sharks are interested to eat planktons, they will come to surface. If they are interested in eating a larger fish like mackerels or tuna, they may dive deep into the ocean, something like that. Significant numbers of whale sharks have been reported when there are spawning or when there is congregation in red crabs zooplanktons or red crabs eggs or tuna spawning. So this spawning or congregation effects of zooplanktons or eggs of red crabs are also responsible for the movement pattern of our whale sharks. Now, there are some faunal associations as well. For example, whale sharks are often associated with schools of pelagic fish that are probably feeding on the same prey organisms. So sometimes other fish species like this, such pelagic fishes, they follow the migration route of whale shark because they know that wherever this whale shark is going, we will find our food. Other dolphins may be following whale shark to find the food, who knows? And association with several tuna and travelis species is also known, like bonito, mackerel, school of small bait fishes like sardines and all. Now, there is also one of the report that few whale sharks were seen with school of more than 500 hammerhead sharks. And the reason is very simple because hammerhead sharks and whale sharks are feeding on small fishes like sardines and all. Now, there are some human interactions as well, but we have kind of very limited data on human interactions. The whale shark has been of a little interest to the man in the past as it possesses no threat or, or it's widely exploited for human consumption or any other product. So, whale shark in the past has not been reported as one of the main target species. And virtually no sustained scientific research is also present with respect to whale shark. The research on whale shark has been started in very recent years, we can say. But if we compare the data on the Indian coast, Indian fishermen have been hunting whale shark back in 70s and 80s and using not the meat but the liver portion. What they actually here we have some landing data that our scientists they have recorded the landing of 40 whale sharks over a period of 4 days in the year of 1982 close to Veraval coast. Now this Veraval is located in Gujarat. So in 4 days only 40 different whale sharks were hunted and brought to the fisheries coast. At the same site, in December 1999, in 1 month, 145 whale sharks were killed. And this thing is very important. After removal of liver, the carcasses were discarded as there was no local demand for the flesh. Now the whale shark was hunted in India and in Gujarat for the liver only. After that, what they actually do is they make small pieces of liver and fill the different containers with that. And after that, they will just simply put those containers in open sunlight. Now the liver will start self metabolizing and liquefying. So in few days, the liver will metabolize completely and from solid state it will get a slurry or kind of a liquid state, and after that this liquid can be exported to different part of the world, and those fishermen may use the same liquid to waterproof the boat. And waterproofing was one of the main use of the whale shark liver, not not the flesh when we talk about India. But in other countries, the flesh was also consumed. Now, the flesh or the meat of this whale shark, as some scientific reports say, it contains more than 60% of liquid, or we can say water. So it's not suitable for consuming for humans as well. So because of the hunting for the waterproofing of this, waterproofing of the boat for the export, the whale sharks were hunted in India and in Gujarat. They were hunted in large numbers, 40 whale sharks, or we can say 40 individuals of world's largest species, and hunting them on a period of only 4 days is really a big number, and it it really requires some conservation efforts, and that's why slowly the conservation movement was started. Now, human interactions also include, uh, there are some tourism cruisers, and their general route is Africa to Mumbai via Gujarat. So those cruise reports also include sighting of whale sharks. So in fact, this is how the filmmaker Mike Pandey has seen the first whale shark of his life. He mentioned in one of the report that when he was a kid, when he was 10 to 12 years old, he saw a whale shark when he was on a cruise from Africa to India. And after that, after 40 years of that first sighting, he saw whale shark being killed mercilessly on the west coast of the India. And this is what motivated him, or this is what inspired him to make a documentary on a whale shark. And conservation efforts of different organizations and all that will go through tomorrow. But before we wrap up our sessions of today, uh, this interesting fact I would like to share with you is the whale shark is often seen as an indicator species, right, or fish aggregator species. So when I say indicator species, it means that wherever there is a whale shark, there are chances that that particular area or that particular spot is actually very rich in zooplanktons, or very rich in fishes that they eat planktons like tuna. So some fishermen, they also use whale shark, or they realize that if he or she has seen a whale shark, there are high chances that that particular area is very rich in other fishes like tuna. Now, the tuna is also very important for hunting, and it fetches a lot of money. For further reading, you can go through one of the report and one of the publications. And tomorrow we'll study whale sharks of India. We'll study whale sharks of Okamandal, of Gujarat. We'll also, have a look at hunting of whale shark. We'll see to control the hunting or to ban the hunting. What was the role of government? What was the role of Wildlife Trust of India and Tata Chemicals Limited in whale shark conservation? Lobbying activities, documentary making, and also the involvement of Morari Bapu in whale shark conservations will be discussed tomorrow. And at the end of tomorrow's online session, we'll have a quick multiple choice question test at 5 p.m. Okay, so tomorrow we also have another session. We have a webinar in Marathi with Mangrove Foundation. And as I can see in our registration detail, we have 18 participants from Maharashtra. So, like Riya, Aarti, Anupriya, Ashwini, Arshada, Ismail, Sachin, Kedar, Madhura, Tofin, Mukti, Namrata, Nupur, Pranav, and Ramesh, Sonali. So if you guys are online, please help us to spread this word that tomorrow 6 p.m. we'll have a webinar in Marathi language on this channel only. And those participants which are from Maharashtra, I'll also email you separately with joining links and as well. We have more than 50 participants registered uh, for this particular crash course from Gujarat. So if you guys have not seen our previous videos, which were recorded on 9th August and 16th August, please watch those videos on this particular channel. Okay, so I have already emailed you tomorrow's joining link. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you.